So, a couple of days ago, EA announced a new gaming subscription service called Origin Access, and this time it's exclusive for PC gamers. The premise is very similar to another subscription offering called EA Access, which currently runs on the Xbox One. There are a few subtle differences, but the most important thing is it a good deal? Should you subscribe to Origin Access? Well, let's discuss that because I think there are a few key pointers that will affect your decision. First up, what do you actually get in terms of games? Well, there is quite a selection of both newer and older EA titles in what's being called the Vault. Battlefield 4 Digital Deluxe is there, along with Hardline Digital Deluxe and Battlefield 3 Standard Edition, the Dead Space trilogy, FIFA 15, Dragon Age Origins, Dragon Age 2 and Dragon Age Inquisition, SimCity, The Sims 3, Plants vs Zombies Garden Warfare and Need for Speed Rivals The Complete Edition. But most interestingly, EA have struck a deal to launch specific third-party games for Origin Access. This means, not just now but in the future as well, it's likely we're going to be seeing more games coming from other publishers and developers and making their way into Origin Access. For launch though, we get the game This War of Mine, which I personally haven't played, so that's one reason for me to try this system. As mentioned above, these 15 games are just the launch offering. More and more will be added over time, so as soon as you subscribe, your game library grows by 15 titles. GG. Next, what else do you get for your money? Well, I think the most enticing thing here, and this ties in between the games that you get in the Vault and what else Origin has to offer, is that you get 10% off anything in the Origin store as long as you're subscribed to Origin Access. For example, you could buy the premium package for Battlefield 4, that gives you 5 DLCs, all the battle packs you could want, maps, weapons, everything, and that'd latch onto your Origin Access version of Battlefield 4. You never have to buy the base game outright. That's a pretty good deal. This 10% also works during sales in the Origin store as well, so you'll always have that 10% discount, and if you are in the sale, let's say a game's 50% off, you'll then get 10% off the sale price. Again, quite a good deal. You get the same privilege as Xbox One users now, with early access to EA games before general release, and the most recent example of that was Star Wars Battlefront. You could play for 10 hours on the Xbox One 1 week before general release. And the progress during those early access trials will carry over if you decide to buy the game. And this gives you plenty of time to figure out if you actually want to buy that new game or not, and if you do, you can use that 10% off. And finally, how much does it all cost then? Well, it's $5 a month in the US, or $4.99, and in the UK it's £3.99, and in Germany it's €3.99. Just so that you know, the launch areas are the US, Canada, the UK and Germany. And I also believe at this time that US gamers can purchase a whole year's worth of access for just $29.99, which is half the price that you would pay if you paid monthly. Based on all of those facts then, is Origin Access a good deal for PC gamers? I'd say on face value, it's a very attractive offering. You get to access 15 EA and third-party titles on launch that are in the Vault, with the promise that more will be added over time. You get 10% off purchases from the Origin store and early access to games before general release. But, and this is quite a big but here, like a massive but, there's no point you subscribing to Origin Access if you already own the games that are being offered in the Vault. Let's say you already own Battlefield 4, Hardline and Battlefield 3 and you're only interested in playing shooters, then there's no point paying for monthly access to access them again. If you'd like to try out other games beyond your normal comfort zone, for example, then maybe you could try out the Dead Space games or the Dragon Age games that you've never played before. But ultimately, I think Origin Access is probably best for a brand new PC gamer. Somebody who maybe got a PC for Christmas, or they're in the process of building one right now. Building a PC can cost quite a lot of money, and you've got to buy a screen, you've got to buy all the peripherals like keyboard, mouse and speakers, you've got to buy the case, CPU, everything to go in the PC, and sometimes the cost of that can add up very, very quickly. And of course, games also cost money if you buy them outright. Brand new games now are hitting the $50, $60 price point, which is quite expensive. For those brand new PC gamers, Origin Access is like a starter pack, and it only costs $5 a month. You need to be subscribed for a whole year on a monthly basis before you even hit the standard $60 price point that you'd have to spend on a brand new game. And like I said, considering all the money you just spent on your PC, this subscription offsets the cost of you buying and playing games, which is surely why you built the PC in the first place. But I want to know what you guys think. I think Origin Access is a great deal for anybody who doesn't already have the games that are in the vault. There's a straw poll in the description today that asks you if you consider subscribing to Origin Access based on the games that you get and the price that you pay. Head down there and vote, and leave me some of your opinions in the comments too. On Twitter the other day, some people were, unsurprisingly, split in their opinion over the announcement, but the reception did seem to be fairly positive. So let me know what you think down in the comments below, and if you enjoyed the video, give me a big thumbs up. And speaking of thumbs, my thumb is now fully repaired so I can get back to PC gaming. But until next time, my name is Westy, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.